Hi everyone, my name's Sam. I make music under the name Checkpoint. This is the month 4 check-in for the Song a Week project. It's a little too cold to be filming outside. It has been for a couple months, but I've decided to film in different parts of my apartment, and there's this weird little nook that's right between my desk and my bed that is just a weird place, and I've never used it. I have some books sitting here and stuff that I don't know where it goes, just piles up in this little crevice. So I'm using it today. I'm sitting on the ground and I'm filming in this weird little region. So I took a couple months off from the Song a Week project, which I talked about in my last video a little bit, the year in review video. I took project month off, obviously, and then December I just did nothing. I did nothing, no music, which was very important to take some time off, I think, and I had some traveling to do, and the holidays are just very busy, and I always find it really stressful to have extra things going on in that month, especially coming after project month, which is a big drain in a good way, but a very intense creative process. So December was just chilling out. And then come January, we're back in the Song Weeks. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to end of October. I took all my notes on my laptop this time, so hopefully it'll be a little less rambly. But Song a Week 13 was done in end of October, because it's in groups of 4 and 13, 14, 15, 16. So it ended up just working out that one was back then, so it kind of is a time skip, but whatever. That song, White Pine acoustic version, I'll be honest, it was a total cop-out. My brain was chipping away at the secret project. I was really interested in that, so I wanted to do the easiest possible thing, which is just reuse Song a Week 12, but re-record it with guitar, and that was all I did. I re-recorded the guitar, I sped it up, but the notes are 1-to-1, so it didn't take very long. My one redeeming thing to myself was try a weird production thing. So I tried to make it sound like it was being performed live, in a coffee shop or something. So there's talking ambience, people mingling, and then I added a bunch of reverb and tried to get it to sound like it's coming out of a speaker that's kind of far away behind a crowd, sort of thing. So, and I think the illusion's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I don't really like it, but it's fine. It was good practice for production stuff, and it was a good way to kind of not have to spend a lot of time that week. However, coming back in January, Song Week 14, Return to Form, this is one of my favorites. I'm so happy with this one. It just came together so seamlessly. It just felt good. I tried a lot of unique things. One of the things I tried was, and this is kind of inspired by Steve Reich and his album Electric Counterpoint, which is amazing, and it's all electric guitars and basses, and they're all hard panned right, hard panned left, and they're creating a melody between them. And it's beautiful. It's really cool. So the kind of back and forth guitar is kind of a nod to that. And I've been trying to learn, it's Tosin Abasi's guitar technique. I think it originated from Victor Wooten as a bass technique, but Tosin in Animals as Leaders has popularized it, I suppose, in my world. But it's using your thumb to hit the string once on the way down and then pluck it again on the way up. So you can get and you can add in other fingers to get really fast rhythms without a pick. And it just has a different quality. It has a softer, more percussive quality than just alternate picking with a pick. I love it. I think it sounds so cool, especially on an acoustic guitar, because it's primarily a metal technique. But I found that playing it on an acoustic guitar gives you the soft, I really like the soft finger picking, tone, rather than using a pick. And so this is kind of a way to get the speed and the percussion without that harsh pick noise. I don't know, whatever. But that's in the background. It's a really simple little plucking, thumping line. But it just adds some rhythm, so it kind of like sits in the chorus sections, I guess, in the background. One of them uses harmonics too, which is just a nice little like, it's just nice. It's just good. So I was really happy with that. It was kind of my first time actually utilizing that in a song. And my technique is awful. Like I can't do it very well, but I can fudge it enough for the backing parts of a song. So yeah, 14, awesome. 15, what did I call these? Why didn't I not write down I didn't write down the names of the tracks. I just wrote down 13, 14, 15. 15, losing form, is built off of return to form. So the guitar or the riff, the main riff that starts the song that you hear in the background of the whole thing is Song a Week 14 resampled and randomized, like cut into segments and randomized, which is a technique I've used a lot as a kind of way to, if you can use your own samples, why not? So I've been resampling myself a lot with these Song a Weeks and other stuff. And so I just put it into a sampler, and then I have it set to, this is a little technical, but whatever. I put it into a sampler and I have it set to splice or slice it up on transients. So anytime there's like a chord change or some thing like that, it'll put it as a new slice. And then you just put in a MIDI note randomizer, and then it just picks random samples. And if and depending on the region that you pick of the song, you can get it so that it's all like, all the chords sound good together or whatever, and it can happen randomly. You get little cool moments. And then I'll randomize it and let it play for a while and record that, and then chop that up into parts that I like. So when I hear a little part that I like, ooh, this will fit well with this one, so I'll snag those and build them together. So that became the background of this whole track. It's another one inspired by AL90, which is the guy who inspired my very first Song a Week. It sounds like, I wanted it to sound like cold and distant, and like it's being played like either through a snowstorm or through like a wall, like far away, it's muted. So there's a low pass filter over the master that just cuts out all the high end. So I was gonna initially leave that in, but I really like that it sounds so kind of like lo-fi in that way. Just very like, I don't know, it's just a very cool, weird sounding thing. And that's what this is all about, isn't it? Making cool, weird sounding stuff. Yeah, I love that one. That one also came together really well, really quickly. I knew when I started 14 that I wanted to reimagine it in a couple different ways, and that was like as like a house track was one of them. And then the other one, which is Song Week 16, was reimagining it as like a glitchy sampled thing a la Telephone Tel Aviv. One of my favorite songs of all time is called Fahrenheit Fair Enough. It is amazing. It's just these beautiful chords surrounded by this like really crazy glitchy percussion instrumentation. And I watched an interview with the guy, and he specifically talked about placing things like in space. So we'll have like really sharp, loud instruments like close by or off to the side, and then these big like reverb drenched bits and slices will be like really far in the distance to create this like huge area of like field of sound. It's very cool. So mine's not at that level at all, but it was inspired by that sort of methodology, I guess. And so that one, once again, is entirely made up of samples. The whole thing is made up of two things: samples from Song Week 14, and I recorded some like block sounds, like wooden block sounds, and like paper turning sounds with for a game jam that I was doing in like August, and the developer had to cancel because he had some other stuff come up. So I ended up having these like finished sounds, and so I just pulled that for the percussion. So it's entirely those two things, which I think is very cool. and very weird. But yeah, all of this one wasn't randomized. I sliced it up by hand, and drew parts in and kept replaying and trying to find little patterns. It was really fun. It was a really weird way to like construct a song, to take like, I had like the finished track in the top on the top track, and then I would just listen to it when I'd hear like a little clip. I'd snap it out and place it somewhere, and then I had like 3 tracks, and one was hard pan left, right, and center, and I would just kind of alternate between them so that it would kind of bounce around, and you know, a lot of like kind of finishing touches later, but you end up like playing it, you'll hear like a little clip, and it'll kind of like create a melody, and then you can kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it, but you end up like, melodies kind of form out of nothing, and the more you mess with stuff and reverse tracks and pitch them, you kind of get these like weird little flowing melodies, and now it feels like it has a melody line, even though by all intents and for all intents and purposes it doesn't. It's like basically random, but very fun. I want to try that style again for sure. It was really, really fun. Yeah, that one was cool as hell. I love it. That's all 4. Wow, we're already at the end. I guess the 2, like, I noticed like, not 2, I wrote down 2 months, that's where I got 2. I wrote down that after taking a couple months off this project, I realized that I really, really missed it. It's so fun. This project is so much fun. I just get to experiment, and there's no pressure, and I can try all this weird shit, and it's a blast. I'm learning what I like to make. I'm learning what I like to play around with, and yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I've been doing this, and I've been doing some game jams as well. And they're both really wonderful for different reasons. But it's good to be back doing this on weeks. It's really, really good to be back doing that. Man, I just love music. It's so cool. Everything's so cool. Also, shout out to the artist Aeroc, A-E-R-O-C. He hasn't released an album since 2011. I think he's done stuff under other names, so I need to look him up. But he has 2 albums, and one, I forget what the first one's called. The second one's like R plus B equals Y question mark or something. But it's the 2 albums are both amazing, and I've been listening to them a lot. And they have like a very glitchy, it's acoustic guitar and like glitchy drums, so it feels very near and dear to my heart. I know he recorded all of the guitar and sampled it himself, which sounds like a very similar workflow to me, so I resonated with it. I found this guy years ago, but I just remembered him, and boy, it's beautiful music. Specifically the song Blue-Eyed Bitters, I believe is the name of the track. It's like 3rd or 4th from the end on the first album, and it just has this beautiful kind of nostalgic summertime. I don't really know how to describe it. It's a beautiful melody line. It's very simple, but it's amazing. I literally been listening to it on repeat this week. So maybe I'll start doing that on these videos. Maybe I'll start shouting out a song that I've been listening to a lot. Yeah, cool. Anyway, I think that's it. Those are all my notes. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you're interested in more stuff like this. If you ever want more in-depth, I got a little more technical on this one. If you like that, let me know. I can do more of that or show the project files or whatever. But since these videos are mostly just for my archive, I probably won't do stuff like that unless somebody asks. Cool. Thanks for watching. Go make stuff. And I'll see you next month.